what's taking place in the streets of Istanbul and other Turkish cities today is, first of all, an inspiring illustration of what the general population can do to combat repression, violence, along far-reaching plans to change the society so as to undermine a decent human survival in the interests of business and corporate structures. It's part of what's happening in Turkey. It's particularly significant because of Turkey's major role in the region, most important country in the region. Whatever happens in Turkey is going to have very broad influence, already beginning to have influence east and west. It's part of a major uprising internationally against the neoliberal assault on the global population that's been going on for a generation. It takes different forms in different places, but it's happening everywhere. In the beginning of this millennium, Latin America, after many years of struggle, basically pulled out of Western, mostly U.S. domination, began to move in its own independent direction. Some countries refused to pay the improper debts that had been imposed. Others have sought in other ways to extricate themselves from the neoliberal shackles that had led to impeded growth and development, caused enormous difficulties for the population throughout in North Africa. The Arab Spring, now in a kind of a temporary period of waiting, began to follow the same course, also reacting strongly to the impact of the economic programs imposed by the international financial institutions, Western powers generally, local authorities, dictators implementing them. That's right now in abeyance. We don't know where it'll go. Turkey's joining now. There are similar developments throughout Europe, very strongly in Greece, also in Spain, here in the United States as well, with the popular uprisings in Wisconsin, later Scotty Park, and the Occupy movement. I think all of these are parts of one general global reaction to imposition of social and economic policies over the past generation that have been extremely beneficial to tiny sectors of concentrated wealth and have generally had a severe impact on populations worldwide. It's been associated in many places with repression. In Turkey, the last few years have seen a very unfortunate regression. The 1990s were a complete horror story, but by the early years of this millennium, there was notable improvement. Now, regression. Turkey now, for example, has more journalists in jail than any country in the world, and other forms of repression taking place. The population is now rising up against it. There were immediate causes in the effort to basically destroy the last public space, open public space in Istanbul, in the interests of military installation, mosque, commercialization, gentrification, and destroying the traditional character of the city. And it's now spread to much broader issues. For the international community, those who are concerned with human rights, justice, freedom, the welfare for the general population, should be an occasion for an opportunity for support and solidarity, and there are fortunately solidarity activities taking place all over, but also an inspiration for their own struggles. These are international struggles. There should be a lot of mutual support and interaction. For the great powers, who have been imposing these systems. It's slowly destroying Europe. It's having harmful effects in the United States. This should be a warning that they should return to, put an end to these policies and turn to paying attention to the needs and concerns of the general population, not just to a tiny sector of corporate power and concentrated wealth. But the events in Turkey themselves are right now kind of a beacon of hope and of opportunity, which deserve the strongest possible support, and one can only express admiration for the people on the front lines and hope for their success in their just and very significant struggle.